And this is how and why they gave us $2.4 million. So what would you do with it? Think about it right now. If I send you right now a wire for $2.4 million, what would be your next steps? Now you might disagree with what I'm about to say, but I really think that having cash just for the sake of cash is a waste of time and money. I mean, yes, you definitely want to have cash to pay your day-to-day expenses, but in the end of the day, to grow, like if you look at the richest people in the world, they're not just putting cash in their bank accounts and doing nothing with it. The only reason they grew is because they reinvested it back, because they, that's what's good about capitalism. People are taking ideas and taking their dreams and imaginations and do something with it. So before I show you how we got the $2.4 million, I want to expand on it and make sure that you have the right frame and the right understanding of what you're even going to do if someone's going to give you that amount of money. Because think about it this way, every fiat money in the world, the value went down over the years. Like you look at the dollars, if you look at the dollar value from the beginning, I think it's like 90+% of its value. So what are you going to do with your money? I mean, how are you helping the world by just sitting on cash? So the only way to build real wealth is to reinvest cash back into things that you believe in and understand. That's the only way. Now, if you follow me for a bit, you know that I really believe in small businesses. Why? Because first of all, you're in control. And even if you're not the manager of your business, even if you're not running the day-to-day and you own equity in a small business, you usually have much more access to KPIs, to the numbers of the business. You can probably get some reports on a regular daily, weekly, or quarterly basis, depends on the control that you have on the business. Like I see a lot of people who are investing in like pre-IPOs and companies that they want to go public. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm talking about it as well, about investing in open door. But in the end of the day, what are the returns that you're looking for? I see a lot of investors talking about them wanting to get like at least 10x in the next few years from their investments in public companies. But they don't understand that most of those companies are going public, not for the sake of growing 10 more X. I mean, obviously they want to, but it's more to bring liquidity back to their old investors, to their old money. So it's like you're going in when the value is basically, for most of them, kind of like capped. And trust me, it's much easier to grow a business from like 3 million to 30 million and 10x that business than taking a business that's worth like 3 billion and taking it to 30 billion. Such a different story. In the end of the day, for small businesses, there's only so much you need to do to get it from like 3 to 10 or 3 to 20. It's just about better execution and usually just actually doing something and delivering of the value that you promise to clients. So the $2.4 million that I mentioned is about buying a small business. Now I'm going to expand on it in a bit and I'm going to share with you kind of like what's the upside and downside to get money to buy a small business. But let's say you just got that money right now. Where would you invest it? Would you invest in a public company where you're not in control and just hope for the best? Or would you invest it in a company that you can control, you can operate potentially, you can change the kind of like the vision of the company and create better services and deliver more value to clients? What would you do? How are you going to act? What are you going to do to change something, to create value in the marketplace? I see so many people who just want to sit on their cash or sit on nothing and just want results to come to them without making any effort. And that's why I really believe, at least personally, the best investment I can have is in myself, is in companies that I control, is in companies that I can change the operations, that I'm in control of the operations. It's actually really interesting. I just had a call with a VP of multi-billion-dollar company that grew really fast. They're backed by some of the best investors in the world, some of the best venture capital firms in the world. And I talked to that individual, and after a pretty long conversation that we had, you find out that their mess in operations is as big as the mess in a small business. Actually fascinating to hear that. Some of you maybe worked in big companies in the past, and maybe some of you worked in a small business in the past. And you know that there's obviously some lack of productivity, lack of executions in the day-to-day. But when you hear it from someone who have a very high level position in a very successful company from the outside, and that person is telling you everything here is in a mess, we're literally just trying things and everyone just trying to figure things out. It's kind of like giving you a reality check on where are you putting your time and money, and how can you trust a different company to get the better results that you can within yourself, with your investments in yourself and in companies that you're going to work. And when I talked to that VP, which is a vice president, for those of you who don't know, she actually told me that the main reason that from the outside everyone thinks that the company is so amazing because their revenues is going up. The revenues is going up, so everyone's like, oh, this company is amazing. But what most people don't know is that the reason that the revenue is going up is actually because they're just growing by acquisitions. They're buying so many companies. Some of them are in their sector, some of them are kind of like in a complementary sector, some of them are not related at all. While the outside thinks that it's like the best company in the world, all they're doing is just buying companies. They're buying revenues. But everyone is in a mess. Everyone just trying to figure things out. You need to understand that. Don't think that anyone else out there knows better than you. People who run multi-billion-dollar companies are people just like me and you. You're not above or below anyone else. Yes, a lot of them execute much better than you or me. A lot of them are more productive. A lot of them are willing to learn much more and are obsessed about learning, and some of them are obsessed about their vision and their mission and giving back. And that's why I think someone like Elon Musk is so, like, everyone is so admiring him right now, because he's so dedicated to his mission and his vision. Impossible not to follow him. It's just inspiring to see such amazing results with his companies. So let's go back to the 2.4 million we just got. I didn't get it because of my pretty face, and I didn't get it because my English is so amazing.
Ah, shit, again. Fuck.
They're giving us the money because we're buying businesses that have assets, that have cash flow that we can use as collateral. The bank can use those assets as collateral in terms of worst case scenario happens. Now you're probably saying, oh, you probably need to sign your house or guarantee everything that you have to get that amount. Well, in this deal, the answer is no. Neither me or my partners are going to sign personal guarantees. Am I saying that in other deals, some people won't ask you to sign personal guarantees? No, a lot of people will ask you to sign personal guarantees. A lot of people will ask you for your credit, but it also really depends on who you are. How do you position yourself? Do you know how to talk to institutions and investors? Do you know how you position yourself as a credible buyer? I mean, if you're not a credible buyer and people don't see you as a credible buyer, then of course they're going to ask you to sign everything. At the end of the day, those institutions, those investors, they got to protect themselves somehow. Most people don't understand is that personal guarantees and loan documents are separate agreements. So it's all negotiable in the end of the day. And I can tell you that I've seen it happen again and again. I'll see 10 people talking to the same financial institution or investor, and 10 different people will get 10 different agreements, if any, just because who they are, how they position themselves, how they talk, and how trustable they are in front of the institution or the investor. Now, I'm not sure if I should say it in a YouTube video, but I don't know if you've been in like Thailand or something, so they have like the flea markets where you go in the road and you're looking at like a tank top that you want to buy, and then they tell you a price for the tank top. If you just decide to continue to walk and let go of that tank top, a lot of those people will come back to you and tell you to come back and allow you to buy that tank top for 50% off. So all I'm saying is everything in life is negotiable. Everything, not just the tank top in Thailand. Then you also need to remember, you need to ask yourself who you are. Like, do you have anything to lose if you're signing personal guarantees? At this point for me, I do have something to lose. So I'm personally not signing personal guarantees. But it doesn't mean that you can't sign personal guarantees. It doesn't mean that you're gonna get different offers than me. And in the end of the day, you can't fall from the bottom. Like, what do you have to lose? Isn't it worth sometimes to take a risk for a potential upside, for a potential life that you could have? I mean, if someone is willing to give you a few $1,000,000, isn't it worth to risk it to potentially get those results? I signed personal guarantees in the past. I'll tell you what, it's stressful, man. But guess what stress can do to you as well? It can get you productive, it can get you to work, it can get you to work 24/7 if needed. Which a lot of people just don't work. A lot of people come to me, they're just lazy. They don't want to do anything, and they look for who to blame but themselves. The moment that you will take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, everything, that's the moment that you could really step up and get the results that you want. And signing personal guarantees might be the only way for you to step up and find things in you that you didn't know that you didn't even have in you, because you're going to do things that you never did before, because you have something to lose. You have skin in the game now. When you have skin in the game, you're not going to watch the next Netflix TV show. You're going to do everything you can to get this to work. And usually people make things work only when they have their back against the wall. So something like signing personal guarantees and putting everything on the line can be the best thing that might happen to you. So I'm not telling you what to do if you want to sign personal guarantees or not. I'm just saying you that both options are possible, depends on you, how you position yourself, how you talk to the institution or the investor. And everyone is going to look at all of us differently. We are all different human beings. What you get or I'll get is going to be different. We all deserve something different. Not because we are not worthy, we're all worthy as human beings, but because we have different skill sets, because we have different experience levels. Some of you have more business experience than the others, and some of you are going to have a longer learning curve than the others, and you need to appreciate it. It doesn't matter where you're at in your journey, you need to appreciate it. So ask yourself, where are you at in your journey? How do you get to a point where a financial institution or an investor will look at you and say, this guy is going to give me my money back no matter what? That's what they care about. In the end of the day, banks and investors are in the money of giving money to people. They're just looking for people to give their money to. I'm telling you, there's so much money out there, it's ridiculous. There's no good opportunities out there. There's no good entrepreneurs out there. People are just not willing to do the work. They're not doing to do whatever it takes. And that's why some people just say, I can't finance my business. But you need to ask yourself, who are you? Who do you need to be so someone will look at you and say, I want to give this guy all the money that I have? You think Elon Musk got any problems to raise capital? No, but he don't need it. He have the vision, he have the beliefs and values about what he's trying to create that, trust me, are much more than just, hey, let's make a few dollars. And yeah, for a lot of you, it might take time, but What else you gotta do? You don't think it's worth trying to go for what you want? And that's what we did. That's why someone is willing to give me $2.4 million. I went through that learning curve. I was willing to learn. I was willing to invest in myself. I was willing to do everything it takes. And some of you might say, hey, you're putting leverage on the business. It's risky. Well, guess what? Going in the street is risky as well. Waking up every morning is risky as well. I had a really good friend who just died. He didn't wake up. So going to sleep is risky too. And yeah, some of you might say, hey, there's better ways to get capital, but getting money from institutions or investors. And if you don't know, you can get money either, you can do equity or debt, and there's upside and downside to either. There's no right or wrong. There's what's right for you based on your situation and your deal. 2.4 million, that's what we got. You can do it as well. Just go out there, do the work, believe in yourself. What do you gotta lose? It's the worst case that's gonna happen. Worst case, get back up and just play again. The most successful people that I follow, they're just looking at business as a game. It's just the arena for them to compete. This is what life is about, I think, It's just like go play, you lose, get back up, play again. We all gotta appreciate the journey a little bit more. I've heard once someone that says 99.99999% of our life is being spent on the journey. Only 0.0001% of your life is spent on the actual results of anything that you want. Think about it. Every time you achieve something in your life, you have like 1 second, you're like, oh, damn, I achieved it. But that's it, then you're back to the journey. So we all gotta learn how to enjoy the journey a little bit more, how to play a little bit more. And if you're gonna play, why not play with the big guys? Why not play big? What's the difference? It's all the same. It's just a different game. Just change the perspective. That's it. Change your awareness to play a bigger game. That's what I hope to do in the next years, and that's what I wish for you all. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. If you like it, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.